what could happen is a Chris Streveler return to the NFL, waived by the New York Jets. So I'm not sure if we will see him at all on Hard Knocks, which comes out this week. But the New York Jets made a deal with HBO that they wouldn't show players being cut, so we won't see that scene. But could we see Streveler meeting with a GM, head of football ops, in a different scenario coming back to the CFL? And if we did, what would be the best fit? Because I know I have an idea, but I'd love to know from you. Generally, teams often, once they release a player to go to the U.S. and try for an opportunity, the player comes back to them. But that was a while removed. Streveler wants to play, clearly, as a high-profile guy. And, Zach Collaros is playing really well in Winnipeg. So taking the Blue Bombers out of the equation, where would you like to see him in the CFL? Where would be a good fit?
Realistically speaking, Chris Streveler, right now he's looking at his options, right? Before he even looks north of the border, he's going to look at his NFL opportunities if there are any. But if he were to come back to the CFL, in my opinion, DB, I don't think that he's going back to Winnipeg. I mean, he's won a Grey Cup over there. He contributed to the team as well. People don't like to talk about it, but he was a problem when he was over there and Coach LaPolice was calling the plays on offense over there. He was putting every defense on their toes because they just didn't know what to do when he stepped on the field. If he were to come back, I have a few teams that I have in mind.
A few?
A few.
There's only 9.
I have a few. I have 3 teams.
Okay.
We'll like that.
Third of the league.
3 teams that I think he'll look at, and none of them are Winnipeg.
Okay.
I'm thinking Montreal.
Ooh.
If he's looking at Montreal, he's telling himself, hey, look, we got a team here.
Mm-hmm.
We got a team. And he literally has to say to himself, look, I just think I'm better than Fajardo, and I'm going to come and take his job. That's just, if he's that kind of man, that's what he's going to think, and I'm going to go there. This is a team that is still up there. Right now, they're in the playoffs, but I get a chance to come play in the East, and I can take his job. Second team.
Before you go any further, just to lay it out there as well for further context, Cody Fajardo not practicing on the day of this recording, which is Tuesday. Now, by the time that you listen to this,
things could change.
He could be healthy, he could be out there, could be maintenance, but it's another aspect of it that bears watching. Go ahead.
And that is a reason exactly why he could also think about Montreal. That's number 3. Number 2, to me, is the Ottawa Red Blacks.
Okay.
The Ottawa Red Blacks is another team where he'll likely think about coming. I mean, he sees that defense playing with the reigning defensive player of the year. He's telling himself, man, I got a solid defense. All I got to do is go out there and perform. And he's got a very similar game to Mr. Dustin Crum, except he's a little bit more seasoned, right? We've seen him before. And Jim Barger was talking to me the whole time when I was on the panel this past week. We were watching that game. He reminds me of Dan Lefevre. He reminds me of Chris Streveler. And I said, you know what, Coach? I don't think that you're wrong. And so fits the system already. And likely, in his mind, he has to be confident in himself enough to say that I'm going to take over that position. And the other team that I think he'll likely think about, he'll likely decide on, is likely Hamilton as well. The vacancy that is there now that Bo Levi Mitchell isn't there. He looks at the coaching, at the quarterbacks that are there right now, and he's probably thinking, "Look, I'd love to go out there, compete, play for a good coach, a good team in the Eastern Conference, a city that loves its football, and I think I can make a difference." I really think those 3 are his 3 teams that he's gonna look at if he's coming back up north.
I was thinking Hamilton.
Yeah,
I think they, 1, need some help at the position because they can't keep QBs healthy. 2, just culturally. Can't you see him in Hamilton? Stelco, Streveler, people with, hard hats on with his number, him, showing up, his fits, or just him wearing like construction overalls. I just think he is the epitome of what they want in a football player. And if they could get that in their quarterback, man, he would be loved. The Streveler jerseys fly off the shelf in the Hammers. So I think for many reasons, win, lose, or draw, they would enjoy watching him and enjoy the way he played. And so that's
And
why
beyond that, think about the storyline. Now, this is not going to happen, but if he came back and for whatever reason, all of the Toronto Argonauts were to be sick in the playoffs and just can't play and we have to forfeit, it's Hamilton versus the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Ooh, yeah.
Think about that storyline.
Well, I mean, and even if Bo does get back, then at least we could say, listen, under no circumstance are you doing anything short yardage. Because we've got the hammer here in Streveler who can handle all of that.